Let's talk about modal verbs. What are they? Well, modal verbs are some type of auxiliary verb or helping verb that go right before the main verb. Their purpose is to give intention to whatever we're saying. Depending on the modal verb, we can use them to talk about ability, possibility, permission, future, or even asking for recommendation or even giving recommendation. Now, modal verbs, structure-wise, they're pretty simple because the modal verb does not change at all. We do not add s, we do not add ed. Also, the verb that goes right after it does not change either. We do not add s or anything. It stays the same. And for negative, what we're going to do is add not after the modal verb. And simple as that, right? For questions, what we do is use the same modal verb because remember, it is an auxiliary verb. So we're going to use that same auxiliary verb at the beginning before the subject. So you can say something like, can I, will I, should I.
Now we're going to talk about them one at a time and describe their use. We're going to start with can. Can is used to talk about present ability, specifically with confidence and certainty, like in these examples. We can sing, you can dance, you can't play basketball, can you drive? Another use is to talk about possibility, also with confidence and certainty that something is possible. It can get very cold at night. This road can be dangerous. We also use it for informal permission or request as everyday speech. For example, can I use your phone? You can't go out tonight. Finally, we also use it for suggestions that are practical. You can take a taxi. We can meet tomorrow. The past of can is could, which is a modal that can be used for past general abilities. Like in the examples, when I was younger, I could run really fast. She could speak French at the age of 5. However, if you want to talk about more specific achievements in the past, we're going to use was or were able to, like in the sentence, yesterday I was able to fix the kitchen sink. Also, like can, the modal could can be used for possibility, but in this case, for weaker or uncertain possibility, like in the sentence, it could rain later or this plan could work. We can also use could for suggestions, requests, and permissions, just like can, but in this case, using could makes it sound a little bit more polite and less direct, just like the sentences. We could go to the beach or we could go for a picnic at the park. Could you please help me with my homework or could I open the window? As a summary, both are very similar. Both are used for abilities. However, can is for present abilities, could for past general abilities. Both are used for possibilities, but can is stronger and could is weaker. Both are used for suggestion or permission, but can is straightforward and could is polite. Now let's talk about may and might. Both may and might are used to talk about possibility whenever we are speculating about something that is happening. The difference lies on how sure we are of the information that we're giving. May has a higher probability of being true than might. Just remember that we also use could to talk about possibility, and many of the times we use them interchangeably. But if we were to put them in order of how likely something is, we would put may at the beginning because it has a higher probability of being true. Next, we would use could because it implies a real possibility just depending on certain circumstances. And then we would put might at the end because it has a smaller, more uncertain probability and you are not sure that the information is true. We can analyze this sentence using all three modals to understand the difference. For example, this medicine may cause drowsiness. Using this modal implies that it is a known realistic effect, so it is very likely to be true or it is very likely to happen. This medicine might cause drowsiness. It's possible, but not common, so not so sure. This medicine could cause drowsiness. It's one of several possible effects that happen on certain circumstances, so it's just a possibility.
Now that we're finished talking about the modals can, could, may, and might, and before we go on to the next modals, we're going to practice. I'm going to give you some situations and you are going to decide which modal to use. Situation number 1. You are in a classroom and you want to leave early. What do you say to the teacher? Can I leave early today? Could I leave early today? Or may I leave early today? Even though those three options are for permission, the only two that are possible in this context, classroom context, formal, would be could I leave early today or may I leave early today? Second situation, you're talking about your skill right now. What do you say? I can speak three languages fluently or I could speak three languages fluently. In this case, since you're talking about a skill, you would use I can speak three languages fluently. Because if you use could, that sounds more like a possibility, an option in certain circumstances. For example, I could speak them if you pay me enough. It's a possibility out of many. Third situation, your friend is not answering their phone. What do you say? They may be busy right now, they might be busy right now, or they could be busy right now. In this case, since you are uncertain about the situation, then it's best to use they may be busy or they might be busy. Just remember that might has a higher unlikeliness of happening or being true. Final situation. You're not sure, but you want to suggest a solution. What do you say? We can try restarting the computer, or we could try restarting the computer. In this case, because you are not sure, you are using could. We could try. It's a light suggestion, not direct or not certain. It is also possible to use might, which is a little bit weaker than could. You might want to try restarting the computer.
Now, let's go with the second part of the video and talk about the last three modal verbs. We're going to start with must. Must is used to talk about situations that we believe are true based on strong or present evidence. Just like the first sentence, she left the lights on. She must be home. So we are deducing that she is home because she left the lights on. Or the second sentence, you've been working all day, so you must be tired. He is still on his computer. He must have a lot of homework. Just remember that the strong or present evidence is an important part of this modal. It's not the same as may and might, which is just guessing with no evidence. Now, we also use must to talk about strong obligation or even personal obligation. Personal obligation meaning that it comes from within us and no external obligation. Just like the sentences, visitors must not park in this area. It's a rule, it's an obligation. You must stop at the red light. They must take this medication. Or the last two, I must remember to call him. I must stop procrastinating. In these last two, it's a belief that we have and it's a feeling of accomplishment. We have to do it for personal beliefs. Lastly, we can use must to give a strong advice. This gives a sense of urgency, mainly because of the speaker's own personal beliefs. Just like these sentences, you must try this cake. It's delicious. You must read this book if you like mystery. You must stop smoking. It's terrible for your health. All of these expressions or sentences reflect the person's own strong beliefs. Continuing with the idea of advice, we're going to talk about should. Should is also used to give advice, but more as a recommendation, a more subtle way of giving the recommendation. Just like the sentence, you should eat more vegetables. She shouldn't go out if she's feeling unwell. Should I take some medicine? Or you should try that new restaurant. All of these are a weaker form of advice. Now, we can also use it to talk about what is morally correct, like you should wash your hands before eating, you should help those in need, he should apologize to that boy. Finally, we can also use it to talk about the future, more as an expectation or probability based on present logic, just like the sentence. He finishes work at 6 p.m. He should be here soon. The train should be arriving any minute. Just keep in mind that we're using should only for expectations of what's going to happen because of the evidence that we already have. Now, if we want to talk about the future, specifically for predictions with no evidence based on personal beliefs, we're going to use will. Let's look at some examples. That team will lose if they keep playing like this. Prices will go up. The movie will be popular. This also includes assumptions that we have of other people. He will say yes. She will understand. Aside from using will for the future based on personal opinions, we can also use it for decisions made at the moment, just like the sentences. Oh, we don't have milk. I'll go to the store and get some. That bag looks heavy. I'll help you with it. It's cold in here. I'll close the window. Also, we can use will with adverbs of probability, just like in these sentences. It will probably rain tonight. They will likely cancel the game, and she will almost certainly call back. Now that we're finished with the last three modals, must, should, and will, I'm going to give you some sentences so you can complete with the correct modal. Pause if you need extra time to think, and then you will see the answer after each of the sentences.